What's going on, everybody? This is Tanner from TanmanBaseballFan.com. I wanted to showcase a little interesting card that I found on Craigslist here. I thought y'all might be interested in here. Let me go ahead and search it right now. First of all, I guess I got to spell baseball correctly, right? So what you see is you see bats and balls and autograph balls and helmets and baseball cards, junk wax stuff. You keep scrolling, and then what is this? 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle PSA 2 graded original baseball card for $2,500. The description says 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle PSA 2 graded original baseball card for sale. This is a card I got from my father when he passed away, and I do not collect. I want it to go to a collector and not a dealer. Price is $2,500 with a little wiggle room, not much. Willing to ship if needed, and also emails answered. So what do you think about this? Does this look good to you? To me, I have some questions because I didn't realize that these Mantle cards would go this cheaply that are graded. And okay, so the guy says that he doesn't really collect and it's from his father that just passed away. I can understand that. There's collections I've run into in the past where it happens like this, where they just don't know what the cost of a card is. However, when it comes to an iconic card like this, you really got to take a hard look at this. So let's go ahead and click on this and zoom in and see what there is. So the little PSA flip part here, this looks good, right? I mean, it's got the red, it's got the, looks like the font that's pretty good. And it also has a number. So what PSA does whenever you grade a card, it'll assign each card it grades a number. So that way you can look it up. What I've done is I've looked it up on the PSA website at psacard.com. You see the number matches here. You look down, 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle, the grade of 2. So to a lot of people, they might look at this and go, well, perfect. This is exactly what I'm looking for, and this is not a scam at all because the number looks great. But what if somebody were to have cracked open this case and slipped in a copy of this, or created their own completely, and they just mimicked the number that was on a PSA 2 Mantle? That happens a lot of times. So another thing that I thought was interesting with this listing is, and this could just be how the picture was taken, I don't know, but you look at the bottom left, it looks like this kind of almost, I don't know, it just kind of disappears into the guy's hand that's holding it. I'm not really sure why. Another item that's interesting to me anyhow is look how perfectly rounded the corners are. We'll take a look here. Here's the back. I mean, it's just something, you know, whenever you see a reprint, a faked card, this is something you want to look for to see if there's something that's actually a little too perfectly round. I'm not saying that this is fake or real necessarily. I'm just saying that whenever I looked at this, this looked kind of out of sorts for me. So anyhow, here's another picture. Rounded perfectly, rounded perfectly. Yeah, I'm not so sure about this one. So another thing that's interesting, and this happens a lot of times, especially on Craigslist if you're looking on baseball cards. Let's go to another one here real quick. We'll click on any of them. We'll click on this glove, for instance. You see this? Wilson baseball gloves, Kip leather, left-handed thrower, $100, Magnolia. Now, Magnolia is the city in which this is being sold from. Let's take a look at the Mantle, where it's being sold from. Oh, they don't have a place where they're being sold from. You know why? Because a lot of times what happens is scammers will go from somewhere from Kansas or Ohio or anywhere else in the world, post it on another faraway mainstream city like Houston or Dallas or New York or LA, and post up a high value card like this for an insane amount of money. That's, and when I say insane, I mean like obscenely low, and they'll try to see if they can get a sucker. So again, not saying this guy right here is doing the same thing. I personally don't know. I have not investigated it or taken a hard look myself. However, this has a lot of red flags for me. So another thing that you want to do if you do contact somebody like this would be to check for cracking or frosting around the edges of the PSA holder. Now, what that means a lot of times, if there's any cracking or frosting, is it means that it's possible that somebody could have taken any graded card. It could be a '89 Topps Brady Anderson, graded PSA 7. For some reason, it's really worth less than a buck, you know. They could pay a buck for it and carefully crack open the holder, print their own PSA label, slip this in, slip a reprint, and they could have either printed something like this on their own, or they could have had another reprint already and made it look artificially old and slide it in and seal the case back up and sell it like this. So that's what is possible has happened with this. So one thing that we can do also is if you go to sortsuv.com, you could check the price on what's actually sold for what. So you'll see right here, right now, there are two that have sold. One for $3,300 and one for $17,100. Well, you click on this one, take a look. There's nothing here. Okay, it says sold on December 31st, 1969. We know that's wrong. There's no category, no picture. Well, take a look at this one here that sold for over 17 grand. This has all the information you need. So you click on this and you go to eBay. Bidding has ended on this item. It's got all of the information. Well, what happens if you click on this one? It just goes to eBay. So let's try to search it from eBay first. So we have all these. Well, first of all, there's one for buy it now for over 20 grand, right? So it's the PSA 2. So a little bit more than the one that's offered on Craigslist. So let's go to sold items. And so here are the two that we're looking at. So you take a look at this and take a look. This sold for $3,300. Well, doesn't this look pretty familiar? That's the same picture, isn't it? See that? So something is up here. So we're going to click this. This listing has been removed or this item is not available. So in my opinion, what it looks like to me is you have somebody that's posting a card that, whether he knows it or not, doesn't look right. It doesn't smell right. It's not priced right. He's got a story here that would make it sound good, but I think at this point, a lot of times people do this for plausible deniability. And then you have $2,500 for a card that has recently sold for $17,000. So what do you all think about this? Let me know. And again, my website is tanmanbaseballfan.com. Of course, YouTube channel is youtube.com/tanmanbaseballfan. And let me know if you've come across any types of Craigslist offerings like this. I look forward to hearing from you.